Okay, so there's a lot to unwrap here from the past week of research and playing of this game that I have done. Okay, oh boy. So let's begin with this. First off, welcome. Second off, this is PutleStory. So I have been utterly fascinated with this game, and specifically the art is what strikes me, because it reminds me, and upon further research, I ended up going down a bit of a rabbit hole with this game, so the art itself reminds me in intent and quality, not in aesthetic or, like, tone. Tone a little bit in terms of what it's conveying as a world. It reminds me of the works of Mobius and Jim Woodring. And if you know Jim Woodring or Mobius's work, Gerard's, you kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about, what you'll see here a little bit. So, this is a game called PutleStory. I'm so excited to try and get through this, because there's only going to be one major thing that might really be an issue with this playthrough. So, if I'm all over the place and I'm kind of jumping all around and such, I am very sorry. But, because there's not really much of anything about this game online. There's a Russian long play that's silent from like 4 or 5 years ago. I recommend watching that if you just want to watch like a straight playthrough of the game from top to bottom and such. I briefly looked at it once just to figure out if I was going crazy about one puzzle, and I was just getting really, really unlucky with it. But we are playing PutleStory today. I'm going to try and move this along here. So this is a point-and-click adventure art game of sorts. To me, this is much more of an art game, but it technically is a point-and-click, because that's all you do. You cannot die in this game, to my knowledge. This is from Studio... I'm already forgetting their name. Studio Mangosteen, that's who they are. This is from Studio Mangosteen. They put out 2 video games, one in 1999, which to my understanding is some sort of first version of this. It's not like... I know very little about that game. I haven't looked too much into it. It's called, like, PutleStory. But this is their second game. This is the one that I'm just utterly fascinated with. I'm very sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. I'm excited. And after that, they stopped putting out games. They still exist, weirdly enough, in 2025 at least. It's mostly an animation studio now that makes animations revolving around this world that you're seeing here. And I'm pretty sure that the brainchild of this is mostly from Akihito Izuhara. I'm not sure if he's, like, the artistic creator of this, or if he's, like, the director of this, but they have a world of sorts that they have created their own lore and world building and, like, culture around, and that is what this is. This game itself, from my research, and I talked with some people on Discord a bit about this, from my research, because this game came... I'm going to pause, just look at the frog for a second. This is, to my knowledge, this is Pantos. This is who the frog is. His name is Pantos. This is Pantos' story. But this game was sold at a very light amount. It did not have a high print run to my understanding. It was sold in a folio book package, as was PutleStory. So you would buy it, it would come in, it would look like a book. So you would go into a game store or something in Japan. This is also Japanese exclusive, by the way. See what I mean by jumping around? I'm sorry. This game is Japanese exclusive. It is very, very forgotten. It had a limited print run to my knowledge. It came in a book style packaging. So you would buy it at a game store, it would look like a book, you'd open it, there'd be the CD in there. I'm playing this off of CD as well. I'm not running this in a VM or anything, which would probably make things a little easier for me, to be honest, but I'm running this straight off a CD. And in the book packaging, there was a book with all, like, the lore and all that, and explaining what the story is, what this world is to a light amount, just enough to kind of ease you into this game, because if you're jumping into this, you don't know what anything is and what's going on at all. There is no language barrier here with it being Japanese, because there's no real spoken, like, English or Japanese or any language. It's a lot of fictional language and a couple animal noises and stuff. So, yeah. This is just a weird, forgotten art game, in my opinion, and I am here for it, man. This game is abstract, obviously. I like it a lot because it gives me room to think, and that's why this game has been making me think a lot for the past week, so I am very hopeful that I can get the one annoying thing, which is more of a luck-based puzzle than a skill-based one. In about 20 to 25 minutes, we're going to come across what essentially is a slot machine, and you need to get 2 results on it right to progress some of the game. Also, for people who regularly watch my content and such, I am sorry I've been gone for the past, 2 to 3 weeks. I've actually been very sick, so I've been busy with my other real projects in real life. I got sick terribly last week, so Pokemon Soul Silver will continue at a future date. I'm also currently working on a Witcher 3 kind of wrap-up of sorts, since it's been a year since I last played that and we're essentially done with the game. I'm putting together kind of a longer video, just kind of showcasing a lot of Out of Bounds stuff. So if you like Out of Bounds video game stuff and you're watching this, I recommend that as well. That should be the next thing after this. I am compiling save data, like being able to jump around different moments in the game of The Witcher 3 to access some parts of the game that you cannot access later on under certain circumstances. Anyway, back to this. So, a slight problem with this game, we'll get into a little bit of some technicalities, I guess. So, I'm running this on a Windows 10 64-bit system, and what I am seeing, I'll actually screenshot it right now. I'll take a screenshot and just kind of post what I'm seeing right now and what I'm playing with versus what you're seeing with my editing. So, on a Windows 10 64-bit system, playing this off of a CD drive, it runs totally fine. Well, totally fine in quotation marks. The intro cutscene is something I'm having to put in post, and if we get to the end of the game, that will also be in post as well, because this game really, really wants to be put into a Windows 32-bit system, and it pretty much requires QuickTime 3 for the cutscenes to play properly. And for some of the menus to play properly. I don't believe I can save this game. That's kind of why I'm strapped in here and like, okay, we're gonna try and do this game in one go. Because I don't believe I can save, and I'll show that right now. So, the enter button brings up the menu. This is supposed to show up when you boot the game, and that obviously did not happen when I booted up the game. You saw that kind of window with the X through it. That is the game telling you that QuickTime 3 is not here, and it automatically is coded to just skip over stuff if QuickTime 3 is not detected. So I can try and save, but the problem is that the save data is in some weird corrupted Japanese format, and I don't believe that's gonna save on my Windows 10 machine. So I'm gonna play this as if I can't save the game. Out of all the other key combos, I tested every button on my keyboard with this game to see if anything would work with it. And the only other button that really does anything is the escape button just immediately cancels out the game. I haven't tried it yet, but I do own a Windows 98 Pentium 3 PC, like a real old PC with a CRT display. I am curious about running this game on that. I haven't done it yet, and I want to give it a try. I want that authentic 2000s Japan experience with this game, if it'll work. I don't know. We'll see. Where's the mouse? Yeah, the mouse kind of gets lost occasionally. And yeah, this is the pace of the game through the whole playthrough. So if you're not kind of in it for the ambientness and the art, this might not be your jam. It's funny, I've been obsessed with this, and everybody else I know has been obsessed with Pirate Yakuza, the new Majima game that came out. That'll date me saying, playing this game, but yeah, like Monster Hunter Wilds just came out. Nah, man, I am hype and obsessed with a weird, forgotten, obscure, and rare Japanese art game. Oh, no, I forgot. I need to go back. I need to go back to those guys. I forgot to do something. I gotta play music with them. Also, I hope the sound is good here. I haven't done any prep to check the sound volumes versus with my mic. I briefly looked at how Windows sounded with my mic, and that was good enough for me. So we'll see how that goes. So, let me talk a little bit about Studio Mangosteen. So, they still do exist today. They put out 2 games, PutleStory and this Pantos story. And after that, they just straight up went into animation. I'm not entirely sure why. I'm assuming it's because both of the 2 games didn't do super financially well. I don't know that exactly, but I'm just guessing that based off everything I've seen of looking at them and what has happened with these titles and what they're doing now. So they still exist. That's the craziest part to me, is that they still exist as a company. They're still making art and videos, like they're pretty much just a full animation studio dedicated to this world that they've made here, which is fantastic. I've seen some of their video animations that are more recent. Some of them are actually on Vimeo. As weird as that is to say, they're not on YouTube to my knowledge, they're on Vimeo. So if you were to go on Vimeo and look up Studio Mangosteen, you'll find their account, and you'll find a couple of their videos around their more recent works with this stuff. I recommend it. It's very interesting stuff. So to my understanding of what's going on here, this is the map room. Because this is the map. This is the map of the world. And we need to get past this. This is where I have yet to get past. But I know how to. It's funny, I just recently got the Moomin game, the Snufkin Melody of Moomin Valley as well, and I'm like, man, I'm eating good right now. We got Pokemon Soul Silver, I'm revisiting The Witcher 3, my favorite video game. We got the Snufkin game to get to, and I'm obsessed with this right now as well. It's just like, oh, I have never been more happy to be alive surviving a sickness. I like this beat that's going on here between the two because it has a bit of a hip-hop thing. It's a really good beat. Even the necklace thinks so. It's going to be real interesting. I'm going to be very sorry if for some reason we can't do this in one go. And it would probably be just this one attempt because, like I said, there's no saving here. For me, at least. If I were running this on my old Windows 98 PC, if I had a way to capture that, I don't really have a way to capture it. That's my problem. I would be playing this on that, but I don't have that capability. Okay, so let me just double check we've done everything here. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think we got everything here. Let's go back. We need to go back to the boat. I'm just utterly fascinated with this world. I want to look into more of what these guys have made in, like, terms of just, like, the art in general, and see more of their animations. I haven't watched them all. I've seen a couple of them. They're very interesting. Okay, I don't... Oh, I wanna... No. Well, it's too late now. You can see that this mushroom... This is the mushroom stalk we passed by when we entered, and he wasn't there. He's kind of grown out of it, if you looked at him there. He was, like, coming... He was kind of, like, merged with the mushroom fungus. So... a lot of this is supposed to make you think about things. Just, what's going on? Who are these characters? How does the... What are the rules of this world? Things like that. That's where I'm just like, this really reminds me of, like, Jim Woodring and Mobius's works. Just like, this is an alien world that has its own rules. Some of them are similar to ours, but it runs on its own... It runs on its own everything. Sound design is a very, very big part of this game as well, it seems. And in general, this world. Watching some of the videos that they put out in more recent years, audio, sound, music, it's very, very important to the characters and, like, the ambience. Like, just listening to the hum of things around us and the sound effects, the water. It's a very carefully crafted world, which is... It's just insane to me, like, the... Let alone the artistry, but, like, the actual quality here. For an essentially forgotten studio in this realm, put out this much quality for something that most people don't even know about or have forgotten. Like, look at that. That's beautiful. So this is where things are going to get a little tricky. Yeah, Pantos has a little bit of some spice to him. He's got a little bit of a kick. No pun intended there, but yeah. He shows some character from what I've played through, so... He's not entirely some sort of blank canvas for you to, like, have some sort of, like... He's not like Link from Legend of Zelda. He has a little bit of some kick to him. So this is where I have a bit of an issue. This machine on the left is a slot machine, essentially, and you need to get 3 crosses, 3 plus signs, for this machine over here to open, and you get the item you need to progress the game. I spent a half hour last time I played this out of a hour and 10-minute playthrough trying to get accustomed to the game. And a half hour of it was spent on this machine. And it was annoying because I did get 3 symbols correct, but it wasn't the plus symbol. So I don't know how long this will take. Oh man, it's so close! It's so close! And you have to do this. You do have to do this. When you get it right, it will drop out a key for you to use on that machine to our right. I do want to double check real quick. There is also an old man upstairs that we should be seeing. Right. So this door up here is closed. It will open when we get, I believe, another one of these right. I'm not entirely sure. You know, I want to take this down to the raft first, just to get this kind of over with. This is a paddle. So we can navigate the river properly now. We're going to take this down just so we have it. Oh, and that is where we'll be going after we're done with the slot machine. That is how we move forward. Leave that there. Go back up. I can hear my... Oh, the door up to upstairs is open. Okay, that might actually be important for that. Because I've never gotten this machine right. We're going to go up here first. I can just hear my CD drive going nuts. Yeah, let's go up here. Yay! Okay. Hold on. Well, we're kind of stuck here now? Is this a... No, it's not a cutscene. I want you to take a look at the mural on the wall up there. So, where we currently are in the game is on an island on the back of a giant fish. I'm not sure if it's like a pike. I'm not a biologist. But we're on a giant helix island on the back of this fish that's on the mural up here. So you'll see this fish throughout quite a bit of the game. It's some type of god. I'm not sure what kind. Translating Mangostein's website gave kind of a weird lore about how Pantos is here to rescue someone called Garcia. And I'm not sure if Garcia is the name of a character we will meet later in the game, or if that's even actually what's going on in this game itself, from what I've seen. We do rescue somebody. I'm not sure if their name is Garcia or not. But this island, from the translation, was called like the Island of Oblivion or something. My ability to translate Japanese is alright, but not perfect, so whatever context is like around any of that stuff, or even if it's entirely right, is kind of up in the air. So these books pretty much give a little bit of some lore in an indirect way, kind of like in a Myst fashion, where it's just kind of showing you things about this world and things you will see. So this tower is where we're trying to head to. It's in the middle of the island. And looking at very, very, very low-resolution screenshots from probably the early 2000s of somebody taking a picture that they had it on a forum I found, this artwork is what is some of, at least, what is inside the physical book that you got with the game. Right, this is showing us how to open the door we need to get to. Well, get through. This appears to be the weird statue behind that one flying isopod creature that we saw earlier. So this is this item that's right here, this is what's inside the capsule that we need to get access to at the slot machine. This must be inside that, back by that isopod thing. And we need both of these to get through that doorway, so... Right, this! Yeah, it's showing you where this is. Yeah, you need the key. This is a telescope we will see probably not for a while. Like, we'll see it, but I don't know when we'll get to actually be using it. Right. Alright, thanks, dude. Anything else? Oh, I can just be a ghost to him for a moment. That's like the only time I think I've seen me as like the human player in the fourth dimension to this game cause any sort of interaction outside of our main character. Right. So, let's give the slot machine another try. And I hope to God, please, let this not take a half hour. Let's see how it goes. Yes! We are going to beat this game today. Yes! Oh, yeah, man. Give that to me, please. Thank you. Eat it. Yeah! I love this little guy. Let's get going. Alright, so let me calm down from that hype. Okay, so we need the seashell. We have the paddle. We need to go this way. I really do hope more people, like, learn about this game. I'm hoping in some way that maybe this video will kind of dispel, well, like, not dispel, but, you know, like, disseminate information that this exists out there and such, and maybe someone wants to pick it up or not. If you want to pick it up or not, it's out there. You get to play a weird little horn and bug people. You're just a little fella. He's a little busy with his telescope, I think. Right, so we have another helix seashell on the floor here. We have... So I took some time to, like, I recorded an hour and, like, a half or 15 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever, something like that, yesterday of me playing through this. And I took a lot of time just kind of pausing around the video and looking at the environments. And I don't think that this is much of anything aside from being a statue. I'm not this may be like, I'm not entirely sure what this is, because it's not really a machine. What we have up here is a statue of the fish island god thing. And it's resting on something that seems to be kind of like magnetically making it hover. Because there's a light emitting from the bottom there up onto it, and I'm just like, okay, there's some sort of weird, like, propulsion system in this thing keeping it up. It doesn't explain why this is floating, but, you know, there's some science and some not. Now, which way do we want to go? I think we want to keep going this way. Yeah, because the other way we can get to a little later if we need to, it kind of leads in with where we're going anyway. We're going to say hi to these guys down here. They're just big chillin' having baths. That was utterly fascinating on my end. You will never see this, but on my mix board, one of my lights for playback, for some reason, was going absolutely haywire, and it has never lit up in the 6 years I've done this. I don't know why Pantos playing his horn in that room was doing that. But it is a magic horn, and it was affecting literal literally something in real life for me. That's wild. I don't know if it was like a frequency thing or what. So this is the child of the bird person we saw earlier. I don't think it likes us interrupting its choir practice. You may be wondering to yourself, why are we interacting with all these random characters in this world that don't seem to really care too much about us? Well, we're on a quest. And if you know anything about quests, for the Holy Grail, no, quests in general, you make friends along the way. So, everybody that we meet is important to us in some way. However small their interaction is, they're a character in this story. And we are about to have a meal and get high. So, here we go. I don't know what this guy's deal is, because we don't ever see him again. I think he's just a visual gag. Out of any of the characters in this game, I kind of think that this little shrew character, who gives us the shrooms, is like the most non-important character. Sad to say. Yeah, man. Oh, Pantos. Didn't your mother teach you not to eat things you find out in the woods? That's a good boy. Remember, kids, legitimately don't just go out in the woods and eat random mushrooms. That's not good for your health. Alright, get up in the chair. Let's have some booze. You stole fizzy lifting drink! You lose! Good day, sir! I'm assuming that's alcohol or something. I've never had alcohol, so, you know. Alright, so we have this lovely Bryce 3D desk here. So we have the bird person, their child. We saw this guy earlier. And this is the person we're trying to find. I'm not sure if this is the quote-unquote Garcia, as was named on Mangostein's website. They do have a website, by the way. I forgot it. I don't know if I said that. They still do have a website as well, listing a lot of the stuff that they've done. They were at an art exhibition, actually, I think just a few months ago. But, yeah. Anyway, I'll leave that up for you if you want to take a look at their work. So that's a recording of the guy on the right's instrument. I don't know who is talking on the right one, but I will say their voice, I'm listening to this in my stereo headset, and that is ghastly. That is an utterly ghastly voice. Don't believe there's anything else here. No, there's not. Okay, so we are here. I want to go down again. Okay, yeah. So that pathway we skipped from that hall with the statue thing that I wasn't sure what it was doing exactly. If we took that center path up, it would have just led us here. So just providing some context there. I do recommend the video of, if you're not going to sit down and play this yourself in any capacity, because that's what I wanted to do before I did any other, like, has anyone else played this at all, really, kind of thing. I learned about this from Vinny Vinesauce, which is probably where some people, if you were to look this up, you might have come from, like, one of his Sunday stream videos that he did recently. He played this for, like, an hour or something, and he did, like, the first 15-ish, 20 minutes. Like, 15, 20 minutes of the game. And watching him play it, first off, was funny as crap. I love Vinny. He's probably my favorite content creator. Been watching him since 2015. But I was so I watched him play and I realized, like, wait, this is something. This is a world that somebody has made very specifically and intelligently. I want to learn more about this. And since that stream that he did, I have just been going nuts on trying to do a lot of deep dive research gathering, which I'm good at because I already do that for stuff that I do in real life. So I've been just having a ball with this. But I recommend watching Vin's little thing. I think he put it into a bundle called like Frog Games or something. And I do recommend the Russian playthrough, which is entirely silent. It was put up like 4 or 5 years ago. If you just want like the vibes of this game, because I'm sure that like my vibes are kind of throwing the game off a little bit in terms of like the atmosphere and the tone and all that kind of stuff, and I get that because I love counter to maybe my outward personality a little bit, my inner personality. I'm a very thoughtful person, and I really, really love art games like Concrete Genie, Firewatch, What Remains of Edith Finch. These games really, really, really are important to me. And a game like this is of that similar ilk, where it's like this is going to become a game I probably remember for the rest of my life, and I will bring it up to people who I think might vibe with it. So I'm purely on the mic here just because this is what I'm always on the mic for my channel, but I also think it might be a little helpful in some regard to have a little bit of some English context for some of what's going on here. Maybe a little bit of some information like I've tried to provide with some of the other things that I've looked up and talked about today. So I also, you know, I'm a little bit of an energetic person, so if it's too much pizzazz, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's just me. Alright, so we've opened this gateway. If we had gone down this middle path towards, well, not towards the beginning, but it's kind of towards the beginning. Earlier in the game, that gateway would have been locked. So, let me think now. Where are we at? We need to go this way towards that. The first time I played this, I thought it was dead. I thought it was like some dead flying isopod thing, and then that stem coming out of it that we will see was some sort of parasite or fungus that was growing out of its dead corpse. Something similar to visuals that I've seen in Toriko and in Nausicaa. This. It's a very Mobius-esque kind of thing. A lot of this is. Which is why also, if and you are looking at this and you haven't, or don't know anything about, haven't seen, read anything about Mobius, I highly recommend it. I love Arzak. I love his Adina books in World. The World of Adina. Oh man, that is such a fantastic, fantastic place and story. The story is amazing. And these days, Mobius's works are not too hard to come by. Literally, like 5 years ago, it was pretty, let alone 10 years ago. Oh god, I was trying to find Mobius's books like 10 years ago. You could not. You had to import them from France, and that was so annoying. And they were not translated either. Dark Horse has kind of picked that up a little bit in the past recent years. Like, the Adina books are out by Dark Horse. A couple of his other things are. They've been fully translated. They're big textbooks of his work. I highly recommend it. This is becoming just me recommending art, which I'm totally fine with. So, how do we get up there? Can we summon it? I think it's letting us ride it? Yay! Okay. We got it. Eat it. Yeah. Do you not have any pockets, my man? Like it's fine. It's just so funny. There he goes. I wanna fly high. All right, now I'm being like too energetic. Farewell, good friend. Man, that was the craziest Uber I've ever ridden. No. Go back to the elevator, please. Thank you. Right, so we got the weight, or whatever that thing is. We got the seashell. I'm just trying to think. Is there anything else we need before we move forward? I don't think so. I think we're ready to go. Yeah, I just love this art so much. Now, there is a thing that I found out in that if you go back to your boat here, you can click on Pantos and it'll do a zoom out of the scene with the seashell bridge, well, gate in the distance. If you click to the right, you can actually take a secret, quote-unquote, a hidden tunnel that'll take you back to the beginning with the balloon. So I'm assuming that's if people... I don't know what purpose that would serve in the grand scheme of things. I'm assuming it's just to kind of double back around if you really need it. Perfectly balanced. That was kind of loud on my end. I'm not sure about yours, but at the same time, it took a second to open because I could hear my CD drive just revving up. So, that's the power of the CD-ROM. It works, ladies and gentlemen. Right. So now we're headed to the center tower. This is where I'm in pretty foreign territory. To my knowledge, we should be about halfway through the game. It's not a long game at all. That's why I'm like, I can probably sit down and do this in one go if everything goes alright. So, we'll see how this goes forward. I don't think we want to go down there. At least not yet. What kind of person would enjoy a game like this? Oh, I personally do enjoy this. I don't tend to recommend games that I actually, like, legit... outside of games like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Red Dead 2, Witcher 3, more like action-adventure, heavy story-based games or exploration-based games like that. A lot of my favorite actual video games tend to be more of the immersive, highly expressive, as people who've watched my stuff tend to know, I term it as more thoughtful games in like quotation marks. That's why this caught my eye, is that I could tell it was very thoughtful in everything that it's doing. So I'm not sure if you're into things like Call of Duty, I would probably never recommend something like this to you, but like if you're a big gamer bro kind of person, I don't tend to recommend a whole lot to people with that kind of mindset. If you're more of the patient and what's the way to put it? You could spend like an hour or two just thinking about a leaf and what it could interpretively mean in different contexts in various ways. Things like that. If you're a little bit more thoughtful and patient, and I don't want to broadly say creative, but you know, just someone who views the world in a specific way, I generally recommend games that I like, and games like this, or others that I've said before, mostly to people that I know who are artists, other artists that I know. People that I know have the tolerance and the care to appreciate something that is slower, more thorough, and wants you to just look at it and take in and try to glean something from it. If you're the kind of person that watches a Studio Ghibli movie and thinks it's some sort of cozy, you know, vibe thing or something, you're not the right kind of person, because you honestly don't know what Studio Ghibli's even about. It's that kind of differentiation. It's like, yeah, Studio Ghibli films are nice looking and all that, but if that is all you glean from it, I had someone tell me that about Boy and the Heron recently, and that honestly was quite disappointing to hear, because Boy and the Heron is a giant sandwich of different messages that are very, very important. So, yeah, there's different people have different thought processes, but if it's something as shallow, if it's something shallow like that, if like you watch something like that and that's the kind of shallow thing you take away from it, that's not, I'm probably not going to recommend something like this or other games that I personally enjoy. Not that you might not, like, enjoy, like, playing through something like this, but I don't think you're gonna take anything away from it. Okay, like this. It's like, if you look at this, I actually understand what this is saying. So, this is a spirit orb. This is your soul. This is a mushroom kind of container, which is then going to go into this helix thing, which this is the symbol of that machine we saw in that book earlier. So this is kind of like... This is like, if you open like a TV remote or something, this is saying, here's how the batteries go. That is an extremely, extremely simple way of saying that. Oh, I love it. Oh, what do we have here? What are these things? Oh god, it's the dwarf in the flask from Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, I love them. They're freaky. No, no, come back! I want to see more of you. Turn into some weird monster thing. That would be cool. You don't die in this game, but just seeing weird stuff like that. Oh, that is... Yes. The more you embrace chaos and the weird, I think the more you will enjoy life. Oh, look at this guy. How did you whoosh down from there? Can you teach me how to whoosh, good sir? Please do not smack us on the head with that staff like Rafiki. His voice! Oh, I love it. I love the character designs in this, too. Like, Akihito, if and he's the one who actually does design these characters, this is wonderful stuff. It's like a perfect blend of, like, human hybridism. It's a mild sense of, like, unsettling, but not threatening. And I really, really dig that. Yeah, seeing the staff, all I can think about is just Rafiki just smacking Simba over the head with it in The Lion King, just like... Okay, can we can go. We're gonna go up. The sound design is so good. I'm a sound and audio guy in real life. That's one of my side gigs, and I'm listening to this and I'm just like, oh yes. Yes, this is so good. I don't think we should be holding this. He did smack us with the staff, so I'll give him that. So that's some sort of sacred spirit tree or something. Oh wait, could we go up? I'm not sure if we can still go up with this thing or not. I'm gonna double check that real quick. Probably not, but we're gonna check. No. Okay, so going down again. This is the wild thing is, I don't know what time it is right now, like how long I've been playing this, but it still feels to me like we've only been playing this for like 20 minutes. And I'm well aware that the 20-minute mark was like back when we got to like the gong in the fish in the jar. Okay, can we not go down? Okay, we can't go down. I think all we have to do is do that. Maybe we have to leave. Because that's all I can really think of doing now. Like, all that is up. Alright, let's go back. That is beautiful. This is just making me want to reread a lot of books that I have. Oh, okay, this is different. We're back at the balloon. And we're moving? Okay. Interesting how the pitch went up on the music. Well, it's not even really music, it's kind of just a tone. Yeah. Do-da-do. I'm really curious if there's any games that have like taken influence in any direct manner from this, because one of the only ones that comes to mind is Cave Story, weird enough. It had the whole like floating island thing and the weird kind of alien world that's mostly destroyed, very nature centric, man versus machine. Well, man versus nature versus machine, whatever way you want to put that. The kind of way you travel around the world and meet these characters. To me, it has it's not direct, but it's just like there's like a slight tone of like cave story of a cave story vibe I'm getting. Even though the gameplay is absolutely far away from it, there's nothing similar to it in terms of gameplay. Okay, so we have entered the planet core. Where's Jar Jar? Right. This is interesting. Oh, it looks like a heart, but it's a mushroom. I kind of don't think we should be going down, but all that there is left is going back to the balloon. We're jumping in. Okay. Now we're nowhere. This is fine. Oh god, what? Whatever tone just came out of his horn was like a weird, distorted baby cry. And I don't know how I feel about that. This is where I'm just mostly gonna be kind of shutting up and just watching. I just have my hand on my lip as I kind of lock in a little bit and enjoy this. This is the machine we saw in the book earlier. Oh no, oh well, I told him to skip it. We'll probably come back to it. Yeah, honestly, this is kind of what a lot of my dreams look like. This is pretty fascinating to see not in a dream. I can open some of these. I can open some in here. Right. Let's keep moving. It's nice to know that the universe has a sorting system. Ah, lovely. This is where we store the bullseyes. And the mantis legs. And the geodes. I take it this is what we're looking for. So... what I'm gleaning from that is that that was a physical representation of a real frog, and we're now like a spirit. That's what this orb up here means. I'm pretty sure that this is representing that we're in like a spirit form or something right now. I'm curious if we're in a spirit world or not, is the main question. Okay, so we got this guy. We've been looking for him. He appears to be dead. I do like how there's like subtle lighting things like this, these dying red lights to kind of be like this. It's to set the scene that this is ominous. The sound design does the same. Yeah, he is not alive. What'd you do, man? He ate one of the nuts from the spirit tree. Okay. This is honestly, I'm not sure if it's because he is kind of like a goat man-esque person, sheep man, I'm not sure. But this is honestly kind of a very Undertale-esque kind of image in a weird way. But yeah, Cave Story once again, it's just like there's that kind of weird gleam of indie melancholia that is very gothically poetic, and I love that. Like, I authentically, multiple, like me included, I make photo art of this kind of tone, and others that I have learned from and look up to as influences do the same. But it's like, yeah, okay. Right, now we're back to here. So our horn seems to have upgraded in some way. Oh! Yeah, things don't seem good here. Okay. Can we go up? Yeah, the whole vibe has shifted. Are we in some type of spirit world? Yes, we are. Okay. God, that is such beautiful art. Once again, I recommend the animations that they have on Vimeo. It looks very close to this with... It's still the same style. It looks pretty similar. It's just a little bit, like, cleaner from experience. Not in, like, a bad way. It's cleaner and more just like a, oh, they've kind of really honed in on this visual style really well. No, we need to go back up, actually. Oh, we can't stop there. Okay. Can we stop here and get off? From that monument earlier, I'm believing that we need to get spirit orbs because we're in a spirit state right now. So the guy upstairs had turned into some sort of spirit. Yeah, how do we get back to our boat? Because right now we're heading back towards the monument that kind of tells us what to do. This hasn't changed at all. Yeah. Alright, let's go back. Ooh, well, no, that... It's no big deal. I was like, why did it let us stop in the middle there? Oh god, the little eyeball fuzz things are all dead in the water. Okay, we can go left. There's the boat. The water's also still. See, it's the little things like that. I don't remember if the light was on when we arrived. But, like, the water's totally still. Yeah, I'm not sure we're in the world of the living right now, physically, with Pantos. I'm gonna assume we have to help everybody else that we've met. Because it's kind of forcing us back into these areas. That guy upstairs was turned into a spirit. Let's help the guy upstairs first, if he needs it. And I'm curious about the guy with the telescope, mostly. Actually, you know what I want to take a look at? I want to take a look at the fish in the jar. It's still alive. Okay, his eyes are kind of twitching a little bit, so he's alive. You know, I'm having a blast with this game, so maybe sometime in the future I'll play other point-and-click kind of games. Probably not for a long time. I am just, like, on an absolute, like, obsession train with this game, and Akihito's work and all this stuff. Just like, oh man, this is... It's rare for me to find an artist that thinks and sees things differently in a way that I personally do vibe with. So I'm kind of going through a phase with this the same way I did with, like, once again, like Mobius and Jim Woodring. Lasse Hoyle's photography, if you know who Lasse Hoyle is. I brought him up a couple times throughout my parts on the channel over the years. There's a handful of artists that I just really, really appreciate, and the more I look into this kind of work, the more impressed I am. Okay, so the fish seems to be falling out of the sky. Someone has taken the Master Emerald. Angel Island is gonna fall. I need to replay Sonic Adventure. Not for the channel, but just on my own. I already have a playthrough of it. It was done in like 2021. I recommend it. It's only 3 parts. It's not the longest thing I've done. It's a pretty quick game. Childhood favorite. Oh. So there's supposed to be some video clips here, it seems, that can't be played because there's no QuickTime 3. So that's what's popping up, is just an X. That's funny. Well, I hope they weren't that important. This telescope is useless. Let's just hope that it's not required in some way. Can we go? It's letting us go this way. Oh, okay, so we have to turn around? No? Can I leave? Can I go that way? Can I go to the left? Okay, I had to click him. I had to click him again to let it zoom out. There's a couple times in this game where that happens, although it's normally in a situation where it's kind of optional. As in, like, if in, like, going back to the balloon if you want to early in the game. Okay, the seed pods have stopped. I was gonna say, can we just jump over? There's these weird little floating mushroom things that keep watching us. I'm noticing them in the corners. Okay, we can't interact with any of this. Yeah, this is almost like a status station showing like the condition of the fish itself, which is weird, but that appears to be what its purpose is. Because it was showing, the statue was showing it falling out of the sky there. Yeah, these like little jellyfish mushroom things keep kind of following us. Oh, you guys look terrible. I did some looking into online records, both in Japan and in the US, for sold physical copies, like on various auction sites, and I found zip. So I'm well aware that this game is something that's either very rare or is hoarded quite heavily by people. I'm aware that this game did not have a big print run. I said that at the beginning. But if I somehow ever get a copy of this game physically, I will cherish it, and I will really want to take a look at what the contents of the book inside the packaging is. Also, I need to look into PutleStory because I know it exists. I've seen a few screenshots of it. Graphically, it's kind of similar to this, but a little bit less detailed. And I don't know if I don't believe it involves our main character here, Mr. Pantos. But that is something I will be doing on my own time in the next couple weeks. Today, I am so happy that I've been able to show off this thing. Show off this beautiful piece of art. And once again, if and you want to watch this kind of game, if you want to watch this game without like any commentary, there's a video or two out there. This game reminds me a lot of the weird moon situation that happened a couple years ago. So back in 2021, I played through Moon RPG Remix on the Switch. I imported the Japanese special edition. It was around the time when Limited Run put out the English version of it. I think they put out the English version like a year or two later. I think it was like 2022, 2023. And by 2021, there was only one other playthrough of Moon RPG Remix by Desert P, who is a moderator for Vinny. I didn't even know he had played the game, but my playthrough ended up being like the second playthrough of the game on YouTube in English. So this game kind of reminds me of that, where it's just like there's like a playthrough or two of this, and that's it on the internet. So this will be like, I think maybe the third or fourth. I'm not sure. In a full scale view of like a full playthrough, I think this is like the second or third. I'm not sure. Anyway, my point about playing this is I love this and I want people to see it. That was my same thing with Moon as well. That's more of an art game as well in the way it's structured. It's an RPG, but it's also not at the same time. And I really just wanted people to see it. I really, really wanted people. It's a hard game. Moon, this is pretty easy. It's a little mind-bending, and you have to think about things, but it's pretty easy in a gameplay standpoint. It's a lot of just exploration and immersion. Moon is a kind of difficult RPG. I still recommend it to people, but I really just want people to, like, try this stuff. That's kind of the thing. It's like, I want people to try the weird art stuff and see if it's their thing or not. If it's not your thing, then that's totally fine and valid. Okay, so the spirit orb was in there, and it turned into a bird. These little melodies that we keep playing, I kind of honestly want to try and, like, learn them on piano. That's how much I'm, like, loving the sound design. I know some people might find that the, like, repetitious, droning, trance kind of stuff can be either boring or maybe annoying. When it's like that, there's a slight melody to it, and it's quite beautiful, and I like that a lot. And it's also very short. It's like, ba-da-da. That's literally 3 notes. Trying to think, have we missed anything over here before we go back to the beginning area of the game? No. Okay. We're gonna keep going. There's those mushroom jellyfish things again. Okay, they're like eating one of those flying trebulite things. That's the thing, with me kind of advocating for this game in a slight way, you may be wondering, like, how do I play this? How do I get it? Because obviously I've stated a couple times that I personally have never seen, in my research, a physical copy of this go up anywhere. Well, there are ways online to find this. I won't say specifically how, but if you know... You can... If you do some Googling around, you'll find... some avenues, is all I will say. I do not endorse anything. I will just say that the information is out there. And yeah, if you run this in a this probably runs a lot smoother with like the Macromedia QuickTime 3 stuff, like all the cutscenes and splash animations. That probably still works totally fine in a virtual machine. If you just run this off of a disk like me on Windows 10, you can still play the whole game, but you're gonna miss out on a few of those little tidbits here or there. So yeah. I would absolutely love if this game was re-released on GOG. I highly doubt that would ever happen, but if this got like some sort of port... Because that's the thing, this still runs totally fine on modern machines, with a few caveats. It's just like, it shouldn't be that difficult to just... essentially modify that QuickTime aspect of this for a few of the cutscenes and just port it to GOG. We got the... Okay, this is a little weird. Everybody's dead except for you. Why were you holding this? Oh god, I don't think he was actually even ever alive. I don't know what to make of that. That's one... Okay, huh. So... I'm not sure if the little drummer boy was like some sort of automaton? Some sort of like wooden machine just doing that? As a keeper of the spirit orb? Or if he was that's the thing, there's so many things to think about. It's like, was he protected by the charm he had on that had the spirit orb and he just forfeited it to us so that we could save the fish and he died because of it? It's like there's a lot of things you can think about with that. That's wild. Okay. But yeah, I would love if this game got some sort of just tweak to be put on like GOG or something like that. Because that's the thing, the developers of this still exist, so they still can do that. A lot of games like this that have just been like forgotten and abandoned in the past 20 years. This game's 25 years old. Especially when a studio doesn't put out any more games. These weirdos have been making animations around this stuff instead. So that's how they've been able to keep afloat. And they've won a lot of awards from what I've looked at. But yeah, they're just a weird unknown thing now. Outside of like their tiny little art niche with maybe a dozen or a couple dozen, maybe 100 or so people who actually like know much about them. I don't know, man. It's pretty wild. That's why it also fascinates me, not just in like an art and like production standpoint, but in just like how the heck are you guys still doing this stuff and nobody knows about you? But yeah, they could re-release this on GOG. I'm just saying, that would be fantastic. Here we have the Goat Man, who for some reason is growing out of the stalk. We have another container. And he's dead. I'm not moving at the moment, so he's doing this on his own. Another transition. Okay, we're back. It's kind of nice of the game to just kind of fast travel us back over here instead of having us walk all the way back or wander around. Because we're essentially at the end of the game. We just have to give these spirit orbs to our guy, and I'm gonna guess he comes back alive, and we stop the island from falling, and everything's hunky-dory. Yeah, I'm not controlling any of this. It's just auto-pathing us back. So it wants us to kind of get going on this. So I'm gonna wrap up here with my dialogue, just in case, like, I lose control of anything else, and it just kind of keeps us moving forward. First off, thank you for watching, and because I'm not sure, given that we don't have any QuickTime 3 functionality with this, I'm pretty sure that for me, on my end, I'm gonna have to add it in post, the ending CGI cutscene for the actual, like, story end of the game. So, thank you for watching this so far, if you've stuck around for this whole thing. I hope you found it interesting. I'm sorry if I'm a very energetic person when I talk about this stuff. But, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I do recommend this if you find this neat. I would also like to thank Vinny, Mr. Vinny Vinesauce, for playing this recently on a Sunday stream and making me rise out of my seat, realizing, oh my god, this looks amazing. His voice. Okay, we're not in our weird spirit mode anymore. That's gone. His voice is the same that was on the vocal recorder earlier. He's got the creepy voice. That's awesome. And yeah, it's kind of just auto-pathing us through. The evil has been defeated. All right. Off we go. Okay. Yeah, so... Yeah, the QuickTime 3... The QuickTime 3, credits... Well, not credits, but you know. The QuickTime 3 video did not happen, so... I added it in there. And yeah. Akihito Izuhara. I'm actually impressed that for some reason the end credits are in English. That's a little weird. This was never released in America. Or in Europe either, to my knowledge. Huh. This music is great. Made with macro media. I'm curious if it's just gonna kick us to the start of the game again because there's no title. Oh, what is it? No? What is this? Well, I just want to say that it actually, after that thing that we just saw, it actually just it closed the game by itself. It just kicked us out of the whole program. So, yeah. There's a few quirks with just playing this off a CD-ROM on Windows 10. That's why I'm curious about playing this with QuickTime 3 on CD-ROM on a computer that would have actually ran this normally 25 years ago. I want to see this on the big tube, man. I want to see this on a CRT monitor. Anyway. That is it from me. I already gave my farewells in case this didn't wrap up weird or, well, like, if it did wrap up weird and abrupt or something like that. But thank you for watching this. I have had a pleasure playing this as I take a bow with no camera. And yeah, I'm just gonna look more into this world that's been made here. It's just fascinating to me. So, see you later. See you next time. Next time will be more Pokemon Soul Silver eventually. I kind of want to play... well, next up will be The Witcher. It will be a special Witcher 3 video to kind of end that series. The last time I played it was a year ago, and I want to just do a kind of comprehensive, fun look around of all the out-of-bounds stuff that we covered through the actual long play of the game. just summarized into one video. It's what I've recorded has already been 2 hours, and that's like the main game with the Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone DLC. I still have to do a couple jump around points for like between space and time and space. I always get the name of that mission wrong. With Avalok and the Isle of Mists. Those are 2 very specific zones. I might even cover the Blood and Wine DLC before we've completed it, because I have a save there as well. We can look at a proper-looking fantasy book world. I covered the destroyed, as I quote it, fantasy book world that occurs to it after the game, because the game doesn't expect you to ever go back to some of these areas, so they deload a bunch of stuff and kind of destroy themselves, but they're still, like, accessible via the way I'm doing things. Anyway, I'm rambling now. There's a Witcher 3 video coming out after this that I hope you might be interested in. And aside from that, we have Pokemon Soul Silver still happening, and I recently bought the first DLC, the Wrath of Druids DLC for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and we finished that, the main story campaign for that, all the side stuff, the river raids, everything in that was completed last year. I actually just wrapped up the rest of the river raids like yesterday or the day before to get the rest of the remaining armor and weapons that we hadn't gotten in the actual playthrough. So, which we're never going to use them, but it's just like, I could spend an hour or two just getting all the extra stuff I'm never going to use, because I love that game as well. So, the Wrath of the Druids DLC, the first DLC for Valhalla, will be beginning soon. I probably am going to pause Ghost of Tsushima for now for the Icky Island DLC and some of the side stuff. I might jump back into it. I'm kind of just leaving Ghost of Tsushima in the ether at the moment, as we have just recently finished up the main story. And then there's also the Snufkin game for the Switch that we need to get around to. That will probably happen in April, which is ironic because it will have been a year since I had learned that this game existed in April. So, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.